Hi, and welcome back to American Outdoors. On a previous episode, I did sort of a DIY for newbies to this kind of equipment on a basic fuel filter replacement. This is an E35 Bobcat mini excavator. I don't use this commercially. I'm just a private owner. Use this around my homestead, clearing debris, trees, land, whatever I need to use it for. I don't have a warranty. I don't have a dealership that's close by for service and repair. So a lot of the work that I do on this, well, I do it myself, and it takes some research online sometimes to find out how to do it. And there's not a whole lot when it comes to the specific models. So anyway, about a week ago, started having problems with it. A little harder to start, a little lower on power. The idle would tend to surge, and from a cold start it would run for maybe 10 minutes. It would restart, and it would run for about a minute. Now, I did change the fuel filter. I know that I've always kept the diesel full, and I've always kept fresh gas in the tank. So what I'm going to show you today is how to replace or repair your fuel tank pickup and your return line. It's not hard to do, just requires some basic hand tools, a little common sense, doesn't take very long, but I'm going to walk around here and start on it. So let's dig into it. The filler neck is right here, and it runs down here, which is where the tank is on this E35. Now, Bobcat also has, I don't know all the models, an E27, I think it's an E45, an E60, an E80 maybe. They're all going to be basically the same. Actually, for the most part, skid steer, when it comes to replacing or repairing a fuel tank pickup or a return line, the principle is going to be the same, whether it's a Bobcat or a John Deere, Yanmar, or Case, whatever. But anyway, you're just going to need some basic hand tools, actually one size. Now, you can do this with a ratchet, or if you have an impact, you can do it with an impact. A 15 millimeter socket and a 15 millimeter box end. And optional, a flathead screwdriver or this little plastic tool. And that's about it. The first thing to do is to remove the floor mat. And this one is a two-piece. Well, flip your pedals up right here. These have pull rings on them. They're heavy, they're thick, but they're not hard to get out. Just pull. This one is two-piece. There's the main part, and then there is another one right here on the right side of the controls. Next, you have two panels on your floor, here and here, and then you have a side panel right here. This one's going to get removed, and this one's going to get removed. This one does not have to go. On this one, well, first off, these are 15 millimeter bolts. There's 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bolts. All of these can be accessed with an impact or with a ratchet, with the exception of the two that are under here. And those, you're just going to use a box end to reach under there. You don't have to remove this all the way. I take all the bolts out except one, and I just swing it over to the side. The reason I did that on this one is the threads from the factory on one of these far bolts is stripped out. So I wasn't able to remove it all the way, but I am able to lift it up and swing it out of the way, and I'll show you that in a minute. After that, there's a second step panel right here. Like I said, 15 millimeter, and it comes off. But I think first, what we're going to do is take this side panel off. And there are two 15 millimeter bolts right here, and there are two 15 millimeter bolts right here. These do not have to be removed, they just have to be loosened because there are slots here, and the whole panel is going to come forward and out. And there is the pickup tube, and this is the return tube, and this is your fuel tank. Now is a good time to clean this area. Well, you can clean the whole tank while you got it. If you got a pressure washer, hose, something, depending on how dirty your tank is, just at least to clean this area around here. You don't want any dirt or debris falling inside these holes once you pick the tubes up. And, even wipe the top of these out and clean them up. Now, I just used, this is an old tool in my shop I've had for a long time. I think I use it for door panels, interior work. But I just slide it under here and I work it around to break that rubber free from the tank. And then once I pop it loose, you can just lift up and pull them out. So I took some air, blew out this line from both ends, took the valve off, and I didn't get a whole lot. There was some buildup inside. If that's all I found, I'm not sure if I would have been comfortable believing that that was the problem. However, when I blew out this tube, and this is nothing more than, as you can see, nothing more than a hollow straw, this popped out. And hopefully that's in focus. That's a piece of plastic, mangled plastic. And I don't know where that came from. I don't know if that is from some previous service, possibly some sort of a O-ring that fell into the fuel system, or if it was just debris that was dropped into the tank. However, that popped out and made a noise when it did so. So I'm pretty certain that there was a plug in the line. To reinsert these, what I did was that these have like a barrel shape to the rubber, so it helps secure it once you get it inside the tank again. So I would just kind of lean it in one direction and then just kind of work it with a screwdriver until I felt it kind of snap inside the lip of the tank. And then after that, you can just push in, you'll feel it snap a little more, and you'll know that it's all the way in. You just do the same thing over here, and your pickup tube and your return line are reinstalled. Everything's ready to go back together. We'll just do it in reverse order. Now, if you happen to have lost an excess amount of fuel while you're replacing your pickup tube, that can introduce air into the fuel line. And in that case, you're going to have to bleed the system. So on this model, E35 Bobcat, I've gone over to the passenger side, or whatever you want to call it, opened up the side compartment, and right above the fuel filter, this is an Allen head operated bleeder valve. You just use an Allen head, crank it open, and there's a primer bulb, which you're going to find on most every diesel engine. And you'll just squeeze this and keep pushing fuel, and well, you're going to keep pushing until all the air has escaped out of the bleeder, and you're just going to see fuel. At that time, crank this Allen head bleeder shut, slam the hood, and you should be good to go. This job was simple enough that even a caveman like me could do it. Rust, dirt, sediment, algae, they're all enemies of a diesel fuel tank. If you can keep your tank clean as much as possible, it's really going to help with maintenance and longevity using your stuff in the woods like I do, or remotely where if something breaks down, I'm kind of stuck. But you can buy an algaecide at your local auto parts stores, or even China Mart will have something on the shelf, because algae buildup in diesel fuel will plug a pickup tube just like, and give it the same symptoms, just like a bad fuel filter, just like I was experiencing. So try and keep your fuel tank full. That helps to eliminate rust if you've got a metal tank. If you're going to park it over the winter, make sure you treat your fuel. Try and burn it as often as you can. But anyway, like and subscribe. I hope this helped. If you've got questions, comments, complaints, just want to ask me something, feel free to post in the comments below. As usual, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next episode on American Outdoors. Bye-bye.